Welcome to a special edition of the Holy Shit Podcast post show. Because today we don't have one, we have two shows on the night. NXT from the ECW arena and AEW Dynamite. But it's your boy AB from DET.
It's your boy Ron T, the icon.
And we here, Ron.
And they were in Philly. They were in Philly. Yeah. Shout out to Abe pulling double duty. He was watching both of them joints. I was impressed.
Both shows simultaneously. We got the notes. We ready to give it to y'all, man. I ain't breaking it up. We doing it all at once. And we probably got a special guest coming in. He'll be chiming in any moment now. Matter of fact, speak of the devil himself, all the way from New York City, the one, the only, Bald Bro. What up, brother?
What's going on, man? How's it going?
Not much, man. Same old, man. Little different tonight, man. We got NXT and AEW. Got my boy Ron T with me. Me and him gonna cover NXT. Me and you break down AEW.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Everything good over there with you, brother?
Another day, man.
Another day, another dollar. Ron T, start us off with NXT.
All right, so NXT November 6th in the Philadelphia, like West Philly. Was it South Philly? Where were they at? I want to say it was South Philly. I think it was South Philly, but it was the ECW arena, man. It kicked off correctly with Lola Vice versus Jada Parker in a hardcore match with Dawn Marie as a referee. And I noticed right away Lola Vice was having some trouble getting that table from underneath the ring. And every time she would try to pull that table out, she got hit in the back with a chair by Jada Parker. And then every time Jada Parker had a chair in her hand when she wasn't grabbing for a table, she would get the chair used on her. So they was going back and forth. And then it got to a point where Jada Parker was put in a sleeper hold by Lola Vice, and she hit her in the head with a brick to get free. And then after the brick, she hit her with the hypnotic and got the 3 count for the win. Abe, what did you think this match? Did you think it lived up to what it should have been for the first women's hardcore match in WWE?
I think it was. It was pretty damn good. And I think the story to the two of them building up really made the match a little bit more, because you felt a real hatred there going on. And, you know, I ain't never going to talk down on no Lola Vice and Jada Parker ever. So thank you. Give me more. Yes, 100%.
Yeah, I will say that I think they started off a little slow, but once they picked up for real. And that brick thing caught me off guard. I was like, is that a brick? Is she
that brick? That brick took it to another level. It was good, but when I saw the brick and the ending, I like when the ending comes together. The match,
yeah,
I ain't gonna lie, it took a minute to get into it, but like you say, halfway point to the end, it's pretty good, man. Pretty good.
So shout out to those two ladies. And what happened in AEW today?
It was a better start on AEW than it was on NXT. I will tell you, as the Hurt Business, should I say the Hurt Syndicate debuts.
We can't get no copyright strike.
We cannot get no copy. This is the Hurt Syndicate. They debut on Dynamite with some hard ass music, I might add. That intro music was cold. But MVP goes on to explain the dominance of the group and lets everyone who got a business card know that was your golden ticket to join them. Please, side note, Ricochet. Listen, man, take the card, give him a call. Please, get a brother a call. But that brings out Swerve, who comes out and says, very simple and plain, Bobby, full gear. MVP immediately accepts security, keeps them all apart for the time being. So we're getting it. Bobby Lashley versus Swerve, full gear. Ball, bro, your thoughts, man?
I mean, first off, even before the challenge from Swerve, like from the music, just from their entrance, the presentation, bro, they check everything, all the boxes, man. It's like, and here's the crazy part that I don't know if you guys realize. Someone pointed out on Twitter earlier that remember that the Hurt Business, they were going through COVID, so this was their first segment ever in front of a live audience.
Damn. Yeah,
So
you're right.
I mean, damn. So when you talk about missed opportunities, like from WWE to have that in their building, in under their roof, they missed out on that. So now, like you could tell, the crowd is into it. The crowd wants it badly, and like you said, with MVP saying those cards he gave out, that's that golden ticket. It's like, yo, join us or else, and like you see the little tease later on in the show, but listen, so far it's been a couple weeks with them. The presentation, the look, the feel. I mean, I think they're knocking it out of the park right now.
Yeah, I think it was incredible. And just a side note, Mercedes also got a card too. So hey,
Got
oh,
well, you got Mercedes got a card. You got Max Kastler got a card.
yep.
Ricochet. Oh my God, freaking Leo Rush
Leo
got a
Leo
card.
Rush was the
So,
Leo
first one to
Rush
get
got a
card.
card. Yep, he
so
did.
I mean, dude, listen, this could go either way. I mean, it could go God knows any way, and that's what's gonna make the story good. We don't know where it's gonna go from here.
We
Yeah.
could have a black bloodline come. Hey, I'm really hoping Leo Rush joins this because I think Bobby Lashley kind of teased it a little bit in an interview before he officially joined AEW. He was saying he didn't like the fact that Shelton Benjamin put the work in on Leo Rush because that's his man's. So he did say that in an interview. So I'm hoping that Leo Rush joins because I think he could take the spot that Cedric had. And man, Leo Rush and Bobby together is just like a big, like a super team to me, man. I'm all for it.
Yeah, 100%.
I
Next,
I got my prediction like for later on who's actually gonna join.
ooh,
Who's
I'm
actually
looking
gonna
forward
join
to
it.
that.
Yeah.
Up on NXT, Ryan, what happened?
Right. Well, before this next match, they had a backstage segment where RVD was motivating Kalani Jordan about how to go into this main event with this 10 women tag that they had going on. And when she left, he was attacked by Wes Lee, who left him laying down in the back. And then Nunzio confronts Tony D, asking him why he didn't check in and return his phone calls. So then he challenges him for a North American Championship match later on in the night as his text for not returning the call. Now, if you don't know who Nunzio is, the people that are watching, he is an ECW legend, and he was one half of FBI, the was full-blooded Italians. So
Yeah.
they were a tag team back in the day. They were a really good tag team, and I was kind of excited to see this match. But the next match after that was Javon Evans versus Wesley, and as you would think, it was a high-flying, ridiculous, all kind of stuff match, like flipping, like as Abe would call it, flippy dippy match.
Flippy dippy match. Yep.
But yeah, they had really good chemistry in this match, and then at one point Wesley pulls a chair from under the ring, and it was exactly the same chair that Lola Vice got dropped onto because it was all bent up when he pulled it out. And then RVD's music came on and got the distraction. Now, right before that, Javon Evans jumps over the top rope, and we've been saying it for weeks. Every time Javon Evans jumps over the top rope for a suicide dive, he does it towards the announce desk, and every time he just barely hits it. So this time, Wesley moves out the way. He crashes right on top of the announce table. He throws him in, grabs the chair, and then RVD comes out for the distraction, which allows enough time for Javon Evans to get the win by doing RVD's frog splash from across one turnbuckle to the other. He cleared the whole ring. I was impressed with that. And then afterwards, him and RVD stood tall in the ring. I thought it was a pretty good presentation. Abe, what did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was dope. One thing I would like to see Wesley get a little more over in this feud. I think they
Yeah,
pushing the young OG a little too fast, man.
I agree.
Randy Orton a few weeks ago. Now he in another high profile match. I think maybe let him climb. Don't push him so fast. That's the only thing. But the match, you already knew it was gonna be like I said, like you said, flippity doo dah. Great spots. Wesley, the heel character is finally growing on me. It
Yeah.
finally is growing on me. Yeah.
So what happened over on AEW?
Well, next up on AEW, Pac and Claudio versus Darby and Orange Cassidy ends when Marina comes out, kicks the ref like, get the hell out of here. Moxley then chokes out Orange Cassidy, and the rest of the Death Riders annihilate them with chairs until AEW stars come down late as hell. Like, did y'all not have monitors? It was like 10 of y'all that came to the rescue.
Hold on. It's the conglomeration. They got a match, so they were probably getting warmed up, getting ready.
You're
and
right.
You know.
You're right. You're right. But they come down to make the save. Your thoughts on that, ball, bro?
Yo, but even before the match even starts, you got to go back to freaking Claudio and Pac's entrance. Like, yo, Claudio's a damn clown for this. I don't know if you noticed this. He's coming through the crowd. There's like a fan has like an action figure set up on some table platform. Yo, he takes the action figure and kicks it like dribbles it like a damn soccer ball a couple of times. Like, I mean, plan or no plan, I was like, yo, that's dope right there. That's a cool story to tell. But I mean, as far as the match goes, I think it was good. Listen, I love the chaos at the end. I like the fact that it wasn't a clean finish. You know, you get Wheeler involved in also attacking Orange Cassidy, and like you said, you know, just the AEW stars coming out late, but it's a perfect transition right into the next match, the triple threat no honor match between Conglomeration and Learning Tree. I mean, it's a little chaos, but it gets you from point A to point B. You're building to that championship main event between Cassidy and Mox going forward.
Yeah, but you spoke on it. Let's just jump right into it real quick. Chris Jericho, Big Bill, and Bounty Hunter Brian Keith lose to Mark Briscoe, Kyle O'Reilly, and Ishii Hero. And it was, like you say, it was leading up into that match. I like what Chris Jericho has done. It's starting to feel like Big Bill is no longer Cassidy. Like, his character is starting to feel like his own now. Maybe not just today, a little while before, but I like that. And I can't give praise enough to the Bounty Hunter. Brian Keith cracks me the hell up. Him and Jericho are a great match. But your thoughts on this match?
Listen, say what you want about Jericho. Like, my man's what, like 52, 53 years old.
Yeah.
And you see the bumps, the work that this man is putting in. He's taking chair shots. He's getting thrown into ladders 2 minutes into the match.
Yep.
And then he's finishing the damn match. He takes the J Driller, gets put on on top of a table. Like, Mark Briscoe, he hits the froggiest of froggy bows. Bam, clean. But Bounty Hunter breaks it up. And then Ishii, like, god damn, that brain buster that he hit on Jericho, I like that was a brain buster, like, rattled him. I mean, shout out to Jericho. Like I said, this point of his career, he don't need to be doing all this. He could literally go to TK, say, yeah, man, you know, give me the safe match here and there, 5 cents. Nah, he's doing the work. He's doing the work. He's getting the guys over around him. You know, Ishii picks up the pin for the windfall, which does lead to this Saturday collision. It's going to be Conglomeration versus the BCC for the trios titles this upcoming Saturday.
Yeah, man, I can't wait to see that. But yeah, hell of a everything Jericho. That spot that Briscoe off the ladder through the table, that hurt. I'm telling you, Jericho, that was a hell of a bump. That shit hurt it.
Yeah, Jericho is honorable mention in my what do you call it? That
Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore. He's an honorable mention. He's just misses it for me.
He's in mine.
Jericho's in yours.
I feel like my personal opinion, I feel like if he would have stopped, my opinion, like maybe 2-3 years earlier, he would be maybe like one of those, you know, first one or first two off Mount Rushmore. It'd be close, but I'm like, you know.
Yeah, I think once he finally retires and you can look at the entirety of his career, then he'll get the flowers he deserves.
Yeah. Next up, NXT.
In the words of Jericho, thanks, guys.
Right.
And then moving on to the next segment in NXT. Of course, you know, they're in ECW arena, so they had to do some fanfare. And they had Ava coming down to announce that Deadline will be in Minneapolis, and the crowd boos and all that stuff. And Mr. Stone takes the mic and says, he starts going in on the Philly fans and saying that how they're not the best fans. You got Boston and naming other cities and they're booing. And then the lights go out and it comes back on and Rhino is in the ring and he gores Mr. Stone and leaves him laid out in the ring. And the fans cheer for that. And then they go backstage where Kalani is prepping with her team. And Jakara Jackson and Last Legend come out to confront Julia and Stephanie Vicure to tell them that they're going to prove that they should be the number one contenders for Bianca and Jay's tag title. So it's setting up something later on in the night. So then the match comes out as Ethan Page and Ridge Holland versus Trick Williams and Bubba Ray Dudley. And this match was actually a pretty good match. I don't know how I feel about the ending because the ending comes with Trick Williams getting ready to hit the trick shot on Ridge Holland. He moves, rolls him up for the 3 count in the pin, and Trick Williams is the NXT champion. So I don't know how I feel about NXT champion getting pinned on some fluky stuff. And after the match, he gets jumped by Ethan Page and Ridge Holland, and then Bubba Ray comes and stops it, and Ridge Holland abandons Ethan Page to get put in. What is that whole thing they used to do when they do the "What's up"
I don't
spot?
know. Yeah.
When
They put
when he has the legs in the wishbone,
Yeah,
the head,
the nutcracker.
head off the top.
Yeah,
rope.
so Chick Williams does Devon's part, and then he goes to get the table, and there's no tables under the ring. So he's like, there's no tables. Then Devon's music hits, and he comes out with a table, and they both put Ethan Page through a table. I think if there was a low point in NXT tonight, sadly, this was it. And with it being the NXT champion and Bubba Ray Dudley, this definitely should not have been the low point. Do you agree, Abe?
100%. I remember before we got on, you were asking me what's the low point. It was this. I just didn't have it on paper, but yeah, not that it was a bad thing because the show was decent. It was it had a good nostalgic feel. You know, it just felt like almost, like one of those like sub pay-per-views where it's not a pay-per-view, but they named the show a different name. That's what it felt like. It had that uniqueness about it. Yeah. But yeah, Trick getting the pin. I look at it like 50-50 booking. Ridge is not gonna beat Trick for the title. They heading that way, so let Ridge get his win now.
But you know what's crazy that like I had a nightmare scenario. I know that's not the best scenario, like Ridge beating Trick, but I had an even worse scenario in my head when his tag match was announced that Trick would have ate the loss, but that would have been because Bubba would have interfered, turned heel on Trick, and then that would have set up a damn Trick and Bully Ray match at the next pay-per-view. And I'm like, I don't need that.
You don't need that at all.
But you know what? Real quick, all right, if Ridge is Trick's next challenger, listen, all due respect to Ridge, that kind of shows a little bit of a problem as far as the men's side.
Yeah.
Like, as far as talent and star power goes. I mean, the ladies on NXT, they don't have that problem at all.
Exactly.
I mean, they have a great rotation, deep roster, but the men's side right now, especially with, I think Obafemi might be done in NXT, which I think two things. It makes no sense, like in the sense, like, all right, once he's done with the North American, we all thought, all right, he's
going for the NXT title. Yeah,
go for the main title. But now, if he's going to like the main roster, this is kind of like a time like in limbo to go up to the main roster because you got War Games coming up, and then a couple months you have the Royal Rumble. Logically speaking, you would hold them off until the Royal Rumble, give him a surprise entrance there. You debut him now, then he's gonna lose steam real quick because there's no clear program for him to do. I mean, you could do a couple matches here and there, but you're not gonna put him against Braun. That's a heel. You're not gonna put him against Gunther way too soon for that. So I don't know what they're doing over, but if they're leaving him off, not against Trick for the main roster, then it's gonna get a little murky going forward.
Yeah, I don't want them to make the same mistake they made with Braun Strowman when they built him up to be this big thing and then they had nothing for him.
Yeah.
So
we shall see. But next up on AEW, Adam Cole beats Malachi Black as he seems to sacrifice himself to Adam Cole. And he hit the knee for the win. Afterwards, they have a friendly exchange of respect, shaking hands. Cole goes on his way. Cole goes on to warn MJF that he's coming for him along with the Undisputed Era. Your thoughts on this segment, Barbara?
I mean, the match, it was a good match. It started off like very slow, like, typical chain wrestling. Like, I like how the match just progressed. Like, it started slow, nice chain wrestling, a little clunky, like in the middle. But I'd say the last 7, 8 minutes of the match really picked up. I mean, we've seen these guys go at it for years back in their NXT Black and Gold days. So I think they finished strong towards the end. I mean, like you said, Cole hits the knee, he gets the win, but a little bit of an ominous like feeling from Black in the sense like, he kind of gave himself up in a sense of like, you get the handshake, the hug, and everyone say, "Oh, is he done?" No, his contract's not done for another couple of years. So maybe it's playing something down the line with the House of Black. That's something we have to see. But now this leads we find out that yeah, that Adam Cole's next match is gonna be next Wednesday on Dynamite against freaking Takeshita.
Yeah.
Now this is gonna throw a wrench in the situation because it's like you would think, all right, Cole's gonna win his 3 matches, get his match against MJF, but I'm like, is he really gonna pin Takeshita like
Yeah.
next Wednesday? I'm like, I don't know about that. So we could really be getting swerved where Roddy wins his 3 matches, and it could be Roddy versus MJF at Full Gear for all we know.
Yeah, for some reason, I feel an undisputed kingdom turn on Adam Hill. The way he was referencing them, like the undisputed kingdom will be with me. Well, of course they will. Sometimes when they do little hints like that, it's like, oh,
Mm.
okay,
And and
you plant
also
seeds.
and also, if speaking of planting seeds, if you notice the past few weeks, they've been cutting to the back with Kyle O'Reilly watching
Yep.
Adam Cole's and Roddy's matches. So maybe we get an undisputed elite reunion with those guys down the line, or maybe a Kyle O'Reilly turn on Adam Cole. We don't know, but like I said, it's the best stories happen when we don't know, when we think we know, but we don't know.
Yeah, but before we get back to NXT, the next segment, Paige and Jay White, they go at it basically all over the ring, continuing their feud until Juice Robinson turns the tables on the Hangman. He runs off. Switchblade grabs the mic to tell Hangman he is going to destroy him at Full Gear. The development of this feud between Switchblade and Hangman, I wasn't a fan at first, but it's starting to come together now a little bit.
That it definitely is. Like I said, I think it was a little slow at first. Don't get me wrong, great match at Wrestle Dream and
Great.
everything, but I kind of feel like it definitely picked up tonight. It's building up towards Full Gear, but I don't know. I feel like for this match, it needs a stipulation. Like, to have another basic one-on-one match. You just had that at last month at Wrestle Dream. I feel like it needs maybe a stipulation or something for this match. And
Yeah.
but my question is it too soon to do another Texas death match? Like, cause I feel that's Hangman's match, but it's like, you already have in your head like, damn, they just did it. I mean, it will be a year since the last one. When I remember it was Swerve and Hangman at Full Gear. Remember that whole blood
Yep.
drinking
Yep.
incident, and it's like I and I don't know, like, yeah, their rivalry's picking up, but I don't know if this like equates the level to have like a Texas death match. I mean,
Right.
because it doesn't reach nowhere near the heat that Swerve and Hangman had last year.
Not at all. Shout out Logan James. He says, I'm excited for Mina Shirakawa to return to AEW next week. I'm excited for Mina Shirakawa anytime she's on anything.
Ooh,
So,
real quick before we move on. So Mina, you saw the graphic that Mina's coming next week. Did you notice like her graphic on TV? The left side, Mina, for a second, the screen glitched to black and gray. You
mm,
go back and watch it. You're gonna see the Mina graphic, like Mina's coming next week. That one half of the screen, it glitched black and gray.
a little Tony Storm return.
Or not anytime soon, but foreshadowing down the line.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I got to go back and see that, man. Double
Yeah.
watch it. NXT and AEW. I missed a couple things. But about NXT, next up, Ryan.
Well, we've been seeing for the last few weeks there have been some interactions between Ashanti, the Adonis, and Carmen Petrovich, and there was another one. Looks like Carmen's kind of playing hard to get, and Ashanti really likes Carmen, and he's kind of taking it to heart. So we'll see what happens with them later on down the line. And then it cuts to Roxanne Perez with her crew, and Roxanne is just on another level when it comes to these promos. She laid everything out, basically saying she's the queen and she's sitting on the top of the entire women's division, and it's the best women's division in wrestling. And like, I didn't see any lies that she told in this promo, but yeah, your girl be cooking, man.
Cooking.
Yeah, Roxanne be cooking on the mic. And then coming up next was the match between Nunzio, who came out with Tony Mamaluke, and of course Tony D came out with the family, and it was kind of a funny match. It was like one of those comedy matches things where Nunzio tried to use every trick in the book to cheat to win and could not get it done. And Tony wins with where he does that little elevated power bomb, not power bomb, but like spine buster thing, and got the pin. And afterwards, they hug, and the extended family and the family stand tall together in the ring. I thought this was kind of funny. It was pretty cool. It was a nice little comedy section to set up before they got into that main event. What did you think of this one, Abe?
Same thing. It was like it reminded me of like a cheap version of Johnny Knoxville and Sami Zayn at WrestleMania. That's what it kind of reminded me of. But it was just, something like a filler, entertaining. Another thing, another check mark off of how this was not so much better than Dynamite for me
Yeah.
personally, but
It gives you the nostalgia feel. Like you
the
look at the arena,
nostalgia feel. That's
the
what it
arena you're
did.
in, the city you're in, like
Yep.
I will
and like
say that Nunzio, man, taking as old as he is, taking these bumps that he was taking from Tony D,
Right.
because it wasn't no like soft spine busters. He was slamming him down like he did with Oba.
Right.
So shout out to Nunzio with that.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
And my bad. What were you saying, Barbara?
no, like I said, like this type of match, like I said, I think it's all for the location
Mm.
and everything. The ECW references on it. It's a cool nostalgia moment, if anything. Like no one's gonna remember like the pace of the match, how good it was. It's like you got to see Nunzio and Mama Luke in the ring, once again for a few minutes, and like you say, you get that cool moment of them united at the end. So I think like it doesn't hurt or help like the show. Like it's a cool spot,
Yep.
to have.
Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. But next up on AEW, Christian Cage and the Patriarch come out and officially put in Kip Sabian and the group for helping Christian keep his contract. Then Hook comes out for revenge with Christian Cage, but Cage explains to Hook, look, I took your dad out because he's a piece of shit and you needed a new dad. So now that he's out, you can come join us because I need a son like you on my team. And of course, Hook said, hell no, charged to the ring, broke through the security, almost got to Christian Cage, but more security comes down to separate them and keep that feud going. Christian Cage, he's a piece of trash, man, Barbro, man. He is playing his role to the T.
He hates fathers, man.
He hates fathers.
Except for himself. My man is like Christian Cage. Like he's like top 2 or 3, like just gaslighters, just shit talkers, just stirring the pot. But
Yep.
man, you going back to that promo, like of course it was. I guarantee this is no coincidence that he cutting this promo about Taz, about being you know, he was a big fish in a little pond, in a third-rate promotion. I'm like, yeah, the same goddamn night that NXT's running the
Right.
ECW arena,
Yeah.
he and Tony knew exactly what they were doing
Yep.
with that promo. But you know what? It worked perfectly. But you know what? It's a genius move what they did with explaining why he accepted Kip Sabian. Remember, like he took the pen, he ran away. And then remember, he ran into freaking Claudio and Pac in the back. Like, so in a way, they explained it. They tied it up like, oh, he was actually saving me. These dudes were gonna interrupt the match. So that's why he did what he did. So you know what? It didn't make no sense at first, but like I said, they came back around to it. They tied it up. All right, cool. You got me with that.
Yep.
And as far as like Hook goes with Christian, I need a little bit more, you know. Okay, we get the dad, the piece of shit, like, but I feel if anyone's gonna drag something good out of Hook, a good program, good match, like, you know, get a little fire under his ass, like Christian Cage, I think will be the guy to do the job.
Yep, and y'all was talking about how the both shows, and I watched both shows simultaneously, and it's funny. I felt like they were watching each other and trying to one up each other because at the same time that fatherly segment going on, it
Right.
felt like William Regal was on the other channel doing the same type of fatherly gimmick. I was like, are they mocking each other right now? But Ryan T, next up.
That is perfect timing because I was going to say when they showed the Sean Spears and Brooks Jensen watching that Tony D match and they got some kind of plan for next week, but then it immediately went on to what you were talking about, where William Regal was backstage talking to Lexis King, who everybody doesn't know is Brian Pillman's son, saying like, you know what, you are not like your father. I tried to get you to cheat and you wouldn't do it, so congratulations on that, even though you lost. Then he goes to talk to his son and his group and says, let me give you some fatherly advice, basically. And told him that his cronies that work with him, they are really good and they could take over the tag team division. And he walks off and Ren Sinclair turns to his son and says, wow, that was some really good fatherly figure stuff, basically. So
Right.
look, they were playing off of each other.
Right.
But yeah, and if people don't know, Charlie Dempsey is William Regal's son. So first time I heard that, I started looking. I'm like, you know what? I could tell that they got the
Yeah.
same wrestling styles and
Yeah.
The
everything.
same style.
But it
Same
was
style.
pretty funny that you were talking about that they were mirroring each other the
Yeah,
entire
when I was
night.
going back and forth, I was like, are they copying each other right now? What the hell?
100%. I guarantee you had somebody with a TV on TBS. You got to be watching.
Right.
Absolutely.
100%.
Especially
100%.
when they're running neck and neck with each other on the same
Hmm.
night.
Right.
But
Yeah, that
I
was
said, but
great.
after this, they had Nikita Lyons gave this whole dope promo of why she attacked Rizzo of the family of the Tony D's family, and she says that she's been on the other end of the attacks and she's not waiting anymore. The lioness is pouncing and she's going to be a predator. I thought this was a really good promo setting up for this new attitude heel Rizzo, and she said she did the favor for your boy Oba Femi, bro. She said Oba asked me to take care of something, so I took care of it for him. So I'm excited to see this new attitude with Nikita Lyons. I didn't really care for the babyface Nikita Lyons. I thought she should have been a heel all along. But hey, what did you think of her promo?
Yeah, it was great, man. Nikita Lyon, like I said, when she came back, she feels a little out of place, so she just got to find her groove. The women are on fire right now. It's like a train moving 100 miles an hour, so she's just on the edge trying to jump on and get a grip because it's moving fast. People moving up, title matches, groups being developed. It's like I was telling you last week, I seriously would not mind an NXT women's show, like an entire show, NXT women's show, top to bottom, no men. And Barbara, you kind of solidified what you said earlier. It's just like the men. I don't know if it's just the women are so much better, but the men just seem like that's not it, man. That's not.
They're just thin. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Like Ron. Like, go ahead and name five men on the not name Trick right now.
Yeah, true, right.
Like,
So you got
who you
Ethan
think are
Page
main event
and
status like in NXT.
you got Ethan Page, and then you're Tony D, and then you're like, who else?
Yeah, that's
I
about
mean,
it.
I say this respectfully about Rich Holland, but I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't put Rich Holland and main eventer like in the same sentence right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Just can't. It's like, that's why I say it's such a crazy imbalance in NXT where it's like the women are way up here and the men, you know, they kind of like treading water down here right now. Like, something's got to give. I don't know if like new signings or like new
Definitely.
trainees got to come up or something. Maybe some guys from the main roster got to come down, just do some filler roles for now. But yeah, they got to change that going forward because the ladies are just like they're just lapping them right now as far as like outshining them.
Yep.
Yeah,
100%.
they had Wes Lee was up there for a minute, but now he's more in the mid tier level because you can't even throw him in a match with Trick right now or anything like that. So they lost some stars that moved up to the main roster and they just haven't backfilled them. And the
Yeah.
women has just been constantly adding and constantly adding and constantly adding. And honestly, Becky Lynch going down and doing what she did when she had the NXT title, she put so many women on the map there. And then when she left, she elevated that entire locker room. So now you have all these stars that Becky Lynch helped build up. And it's like, yo, y'all got to do something with these men roster. So I definitely agree.
Yeah, 100%. But speaking of the women's roster over on AEW, Jamie Hayter defeats Penelope Ford. I thought Penelope was gonna get this win. She's been killing it on the mic. Her presentation coming back, her fierceness. But Jamie Hayter gets the win over Penelope. Your thoughts, Barbara?
Just real quick on Jamie Hayter. Like, I know a lot of people they weren't thrilled with her like coming back at the All In pre-show, back in August, and like the feuds that she's had with Soraya and Harley Cameron. But I look at it like this: she's been off of TV for what, a year and a half with injury. You got to look at it like any professional athlete coming back from injury for that long. You can't just throw them back like going 100 miles per hour. Like, you can't just throw Hater back in the title scene and be like, all right, yo, just go exactly where you were when you left off. No, you got to make sure that she's good, like both mentally, physically, everything in the ring. So I look at it as a progression. Like, yeah, Saraya, Harley Cameron, Penelope Ford, like she's going on a steady track up, and I think it was a pretty damn good match tonight. Like I said, Penelope, very underrated character. A very underrated wrestler. That's a woman that you need on your roster that could be great enhancement talent that could push your main event talent, like make them look good. She made Jamie struggle for a good portion of the match. She got in good offense, like you said, she's been good on the mic, good presentation. And listen, on a personal note, it's good to see Penelope back in action. Like, for those of you who don't know, unfortunately, like in the past, like her and Kip Sabian, they tried having a baby. She was pregnant. Unfortunately, there was a miscarriage. So, you know, sorry, feel bad for everything they did, but she's back healthy. She's back in the ring doing what she's doing. And like I said, that's a valuable piece to have on your roster, because, you can't just have all 8 top tier talent. You got to have those mid card, those wrestlers who will eat the pins, but they'll make your stars look great in the process. And I'm telling you, yo, that Hater clothesline, like, she hit that out of nowhere. Like, it was like some little scramble, little transition, and she hits that like in a phone booth, that tight of a window, and bow, 1, 2, 3. Like, I think she's gonna use the rest of this year to like condition herself, get her legs back underneath. Let's wait for 2025 when we could talk about, like, does she go after Mercedes? Does she go after Mariah May? I mean, shit, yo, a program with her and Mariah May.
I was just about to
year.
say that, man. Overseas, oh my God, man. Over in Europe,
man,
that'd be dumb numbers, man.
bro. Listen, like next year, like I say right now, the NXT women's roster, they're number one. But like I said, when you have Hater like get back into it, and then you get Tony Storm back in the mix, then Athena coming up from ROH after she's done with her Billy Stark's program in Ring of Honor, bro. Next year, those two women's divisions are gonna go neck and neck,
Yep.
back and forth. Like, next year could shape up being the best year of women's wrestling, going forward. I mean, like Triple H on the main roster, he's got to pick it up. Like both Raw and SmackDown right now, like I feel like they're just treading water. I mean, now with Rhea out injured right now, like Liv, let's see where she goes from here with the title. I mean, we'll see what happens.
We will see.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Now, my question about that clothesline you're talking about, does her clothesline remind you of the clothesline from Hell that Bradshaw used to do?
Nah, this is basically dude, she's doing the Rainmaker.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, she basically, but man, I tell you, like I think she does it with more velocity, like more speed than Okada does. I mean, he's more smooth with it, more mechanical. No, Hater's like trying to take your damn.
Yeah, she's trying to hurt you.
That's what I meant by it, Desiree. Not like how she executed. It's just like
I like how
the velocity,
power,
and all that
yeah.
stuff,
knock
Power,
your head off
definitely.
your shoulders. Yeah, I would.
because I remember matches before. Matches would be going, and he'll hit somebody with that clothesline from hell, and it'll just be a wrap after
Yeah.
that.
Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the women's division, um, they had the 10 women tag match was the main event
The
of
main
NXT
event.
tonight. And this one was my breakout performance of the night. I usually give those, but yeah, this one definitely was the breakout performance of the night. It was Fatal Influence with Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez versus Stephanie Vakir, Jordan Grace from TNA, who was her contract with TNA expires in January. You can't tell me she's not going to show
Yeah,
up in
she's
the
NXT. You might as well just say.
It's already done. I listen. I
yeah. You
guarantee
can't tell
you.
me she's not going to be in the Royal Rumble though. That's
Oh, yeah, listen, dude. That contract's already signed in
yeah.
pencil.
Right.
Yeah.
It's done, man.
They just waiting to add the pin to
Yeah.
it. But Jordan Grace, then Kalani Jordan, Zarya, and Julia. And this is what I want to ask you before we talk about this match. Notice that they had Roxanne Perez come out last with her group, and then they had Julia come out last. They're really pushing Julia to be the next top star. And we've talked about it before. It's like Julia's really, really good, but Stephanie Vakir is
Yeah.
for right now on
She's
a
ready. She
whole
is
nother level.
seasoned,
Like
ready to go on the grill. Like
she could honestly do a short stint in NXT and go to the main roster and make
Yeah.
a big impact out there. But yeah, they showed in this match though why the NXT women's division is cold, because they put on a heck of a match. It was so many spots, and they got it to this one spot to where, you know how they do one person take out the other, then the other person take out with their move. And then Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend came out to confront the women in the ring, and Julia spotted it. She took out Jakara Jackson. Stephanie Vakir jumped from the top rope and took out Lash Legend. And then a miscommunication happened in the ring where Zarya was going to spear Roxanne Perez, and she got out of the way, and she accidentally speared Jordan Grace, which is setting up, I'm pretty sure, something later on down the line, because when Zarya got signed, everybody said, can you imagine a match between Zarya and well, she was Delta at the time, but can you imagine a match between Zarya and Jordan Grace? So that kind of set that up. But Zarya still ended up getting the win because she reversed the Pop Rocks and put her in the F6, as they're calling it, not the F5, and gets the pin and pins the women's champion. But overall, this match, Abe, what did you think of it? Did you think it displayed why they are the best division in women's wrestling right now?
Shout out to you claiming match of the night. Shout out. Match of the night. You are 1000% right. This was match of the night. It just showcased so much, man, that they have to offer. I was looking at that match and I was just like, Kalani Zarya, Jordan Grace versus Roxanne Perez versus Stephanie Vakir versus Julia. It's just so many combinations. It's just, this is the most stacked women's division currently, and I've already went on the limb and said that it's the best women's division ever. You know, they may not have accomplished everything, but if they stay on pace, these women, they are top flight superstars. This match was just incredible, man.
Yeah, and Jordan Grace was super impressed. You could tell as soon as she got in the ring, it's just her quickness. Like, people underestimate, because she's stocky, but she's quick too. Like, her moves look strong, they're fast. She executed clean. Then she'll slam her, hop right up, jump on the top rope, does her splash off of the. She's incredible. That's gonna be a heck of a signing.
Her and Delta, her and Zarya and Jordan Grace. Oh my god, man, that's gonna be a powerhouse match if I ever seen one, man. 100%.
Yeah. So, have you ever seen Barbara? Have you ever seen Delta before, or Zarya before she came to NXT?
I saw a few clips of her. Yeah.
Yeah, so I've seen like where she was wrestling guys and stuff. So I already knew she was strong, but I like the way they're booking her here. She looks like an absolute monster.
Yeah,
Let me ask you something, Ron, real quick. Like, you know, don't get me wrong, the NXT women's roster is stacked from top to bottom, but do you think that there's going to be a point where, or like you look at how some of the women have been debuting the past 3 to 4 months. Like first you had Stephanie Vicuricum, and then you had Julia, then you had Zarya. I mean, I personally feel like, yeah, don't get me wrong, your division is stacked, from top to bottom, but I feel like they could have maybe benefited more, like if they spaced out the debuts a little bit longer in between, where
Mm-hmm.
you could have gotten, Stephanie, like, maybe a couple months, like showcased her, get a little bit more background information on her, more exposure to the fans, and then you bring in a Julia, and the same thing, like expose her, like give her, and then Zarya. But it feels like it's been one after another, and now it's like my worries with the division. Like, yeah, you had a 10 woman tag match, so it worked tonight, but
Mm-hmm.
week to week, like there's gonna be days where you'll get one, but 8 others got to sit in the back, or
Yeah,
they get that rotation. So it kind of wonders, like, are they about to call up a bunch of these women? Like, I
that's what
mean,
I think is about to happen. I think that they're stacking it now. What happened first is Julia was supposed to debut months ago. But she did her final match in Japan and she got injured, so she was on the shelf for a while. So
mm,
then they have Stephanie Vakir kind of sitting, waiting because they were going to bring her in too. So they were trying to wait for Julia to debut, and then when they finally debuted Julia, they're like, "All right, well, we got to get Stephanie Vakir out here." And then while that was going on, they were working on a deal with Delta, and they ended up bringing her in. Now I do agree, bringing them in back to back like this, you brought in 3 top stars, and then you already had top stars already here in NXT. So seeing what you said about Rhea Ripley, and how it's kind of, they have they do have good stars up there, but it's not a lot going on. I think they are going to move some of these NXT women up, and then I think they're going to introduce that mid card title that they've been talking about, because they have to. They have to. If you're bringing up all these women that with all this talent, you can't have them all turning into Zelina Vegas and just kind of just doing, these little matches every now and then.
Damn, Selena just caught a stray.
I know. I'm just saying, and it's not her fault. It's just that you got 2 titles,
Yeah.
2 main titles, and some people just get caught up in the middle when they should be doing more because you don't have a title for them.
bro, you bring up Zelina right now, yo. Just real quick, like, we saw the releases like a few days ago with Indy and with Tegan
Yeah.
Knox, dude. I don't know how you guys feel. I don't think they're done yet with the
No,
releases.
I don't either.
Like, and you just brought up Zelina. I love Zelina. Her and freaking Andrade were money back in the
Yeah.
black and gold days. It baffles me that when Andrade came back, you had
They didn't
Zelina
put her.
really do nothing.
They
So
they
you
hinted
put her,
it, but they
they
never did
did
anything with
did
it.
hint it, but I'm like, okay, where are we going? It would break my heart if the next list of like releases, if Zelina's on the list. I'm sorry, that
I
would be a
agree.
major L, because I'm sorry, she can talk, like she could do it all. And
Yeah.
if you can't find a spot on either roster for her, then my problem with Triple H's women, how he handles the women's division, is the booking. The
Hmm.
talent's not the issue. It's just that that's what happens when you have the Rhea and Liv feud go on, holding the women's title hostage in a sense.
Yeah.
Now Rhea's injured. Liv has no clear path until Rhea comes back.
Hmm.
Like, I know they have Io Sky's the number one contender, but I have a feeling that Liv will win that because they're probably waiting for Rhea to come back. But it would break my heart if Zelina's on that next list of releases. That would be horrible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's time to disband the LWO in some type of way.
Yeah.
And you can keep, a couple people together as a tag team. But yeah, let Zelina Vega go with Andrade. I think it will help him out a lot, and it'll help her out a lot.
Shout out Wiccan on TikTok. He says, no disrespect, but Perez needs a better finisher. I agree.
And
I
Pop
cannot
Rocks, yeah.
stand Pop Rocks. Like, stop
She
it.
had 2 of them though. That's what I can't remember what the other one was, but I know she had another one, and then they just stuck with the Pop Rocks.
Man, that was like the most.
And it's just the name also, man. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you beat it with the Pop Rocks. Like, what?
Right.
Okay.
Whatever.
But yeah, just like how how Liv used to have a finisher that really wasn't nothing, and then she came up with the was it
Oblivion.
Oblivion,
Yeah.
and that one's kind of dope.
Yeah, that is dope. I like that move. I like that
But yeah, hopefully, man. I'm also afraid for Apollo Crews, man. I'm,
move.
I'm also afraid for
Well,
Apollo Crews with the
There's,
next
there's, a,
group of
there's a whole
releases.
there's a whole bunch of them, man. I mean, like Giovanni Vinci.
Yeah,
Yeah, Giovanni. Yeah, I could see him easily getting cut.
I
I
don't
mean,
know what he did.
especially like we know about the heat between him and Kaiser. So,
Yeah,
Right.
is real life heat between him and Kaiser?
oh, I mean, I think the word was supposedly. I don't know if Vinci knew that he and that Kaiser and Stratton were an item, and
Oh,
Vinci, I think, tried to do, try to maybe talk or
try to hit on her or
something.
something like that. Yeah.
He
Yeah,
tried to get
so
some of that Tiffy time. That's what he tried to get.
like you go back to when Kaiser attacked Vinci, like you go back and watch that footage.
Some of
He
them
put a little extra
stiffs,
on
yeah.
it.
Some of them
Yeah,
hits
All
were stiff.
right.
yeah.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
All
Yep.
right, well, go ahead and let me know how the rest of AEW went.
That was the main
Man.
event of NXT, but the main event of AEW
Hold up,
was
hold up. Before that, we had a little vignette for Okada um announcing his
oh yeah, break that down
entrance.
for us, man.
Yes, so we had an Okada vignette announcing his entrance to the Continental Classic, which I believe will be announced later this month. Like we knew he was gonna be in the tournament. He has the belt and everything, but basically they set it up in a sense that if he were to win this tournament, he would have the most like wrestling tournament victories of all time around the world.
Right.
And listen, whenever this tournament gets like set up, like dude, we gotta have like we need to have like a special selection show, like pick the winners, pick the brackets, and all
Yeah,
that
let's
stuff.
do
But
it.
dude, it will be the best easily the best wrestling of the year. But I cannot wait to see who they put on both sides. But yeah, we had the vignette of Okada just showing all the work he did in the G1 Climax tournaments
Yep.
back in the day, just building him up to be the tournament beast. But yes, we go to the main event. We
Yes,
have,
the
you
main
want to go ahead,
event.
Abe?
Ricochet and well, first off, Kyle Fletcher and Takeshita come down first, and then followed by Ricochet. Nobody knows who his partner is going to be, and out comes the return of Powerhouse Hobbs. And with him and Ricochet side by side, they defeat Kyle and Takeshita. And afterwards, Fletcher grabs a chair, takes out Ricochet and Hobbs, then comes down Mark Davis, Kyle's old running buddy, to make the save, but Archer comes down, the rest of the Don Callis come down, they just wreck shop on them. Adam Cole, then out of nowhere, comes out to take out Takeshita, sort of even in the odds, but to really even everything and make it fair, here comes Osprey, returns to take out them all. Fletcher, him, Ricochet, Hobbs, take them out, stand tall. The last 4 men standing going off AEW Dynamite. I like the return of Osprey. I really enjoy Ricochet and Hobbs because we've all been hinting at them being in the Hurt Syndicate. I don't know if that was where you was headed earlier, but that's what I was thinking.
Bro, like what's crazy the past episode I did with my guys on the podcast over the weekend, we were talking about like, fantasy tag teams, and I told them, yo, Ricochet and Hobbs would be a dope like duo. Like I love that like combination of that powerhouse like character and Ricochet. Like you saw like the him standing on Hobbs's shoulder, him doing the moonsault to the outside of the ring. And like, first off, great to have Hobbs back. He looked great, he looked
Yeah.
quick. He looked powerful, like him and Takeshita going at it in the ring, like back and forth forearm shots, and like, dude, they were, yeah. Hobbs looks great, but like I was alluding to earlier, we saw the little segment in the back with Ricochet in the back with the Hurt Syndicate and everything.
Yep.
Ricochet still on the fence about it, but man, listen, he would be dope in the Hurt Syndicate. Cool. Powerhouse Hobbs in that group, bro. Can you imagine? And just it would be the perfect addition in the sense that, like, you look at a young beast in Hobbs, like, just imagine him under the mentorship of an
Bobby
MVP.
Lashley and yeah.
Like MVP, like could be his mouthpiece. You could have Bobby Lashley, like who was basically what Hobbs is now when he first broke in. Like he's this young
Muscle
phenom
House, yeah.
athlete. I mean, if dude, it would be a match made in heaven. Like imagine you have those three beasts surrounding MVP, like in this the finest tailored suits ever. Like, dude, it would be. That's my prediction. I think Hobbs is gonna join her syndicate over Ricochet.
I
Just
would
a
like.
tag match, though. You think about that. Shelton Benjamin and Hobbs together in a tag
Ooh,
match.
that would be sick, man.
Bro, you got trio right there. You got
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hobbs,
they could take the
Hobbs,
trios
Lashley,
titles.
and Benjamin. Like
Yep,
Yeah.
they could
dude,
take the. Who got the trios titles? Oh,
the
the
BCC.
BCC got it. Yeah, they could definitely take those trios titles 100%. But yeah, I 1,000% enjoyed this, and it was no coincidence that Ricochet and Hobbs were wearing black and gold, and the Hurt Syndicate came out in black and
Mm,
gold. They're telling us a story without even saying nothing.
like dude, that's the thing. The whole show tonight, there was nothing that was like filler or nothing that made sense tonight. Everything was you're going from story to story. Yeah, great matches always the standard in AEW, but you get your great stories. Everything was structured great, and everything is pretty much set up for next week, leading up to the pay per view. Like the pay per view is like 75% done,
Yeah,
besides a couple of matches here and there. But man, like her syndicate knocked it out of the park all the way to the main event. I like where things are going right now.
yeah, it's looking good, man. But Ryan T, NXT tonight on a scale of 1 to 10. What are you giving NXT, brother?
I will give it an 8.5. I'll give it an 8.5 because I know they had a couple of matches that, like I said, especially that Trick Williams one was a little disappointing.
Yeah,
And then they threw in the Nunzio one, but so yeah, it's an 8.5. It was solid. It was a solid show. It wasn't amazing
8.5.
like some of the other ones, but it was solid. It was
I,
solid.
I agree. I'm close around the same thing. I say about an 8.2. Good show for me. But Ball Bro, AEW Dynamite, scale of 1 to 10. What are you giving it?
I give it like I give it like 8.5, 8.6. Like I said, everything fit tonight. The presentation was great. The in-ring action always top tier. Everything made sense. All the right decisions made tonight. We're building towards full gear. We're moving in the right direction, and we're already setting up the Continental Classic, which will be the best wrestling tournament of the year. So, like I said, I like where we're going. So yeah, give me an 8.5 out of 10.
8.5. Y'all both tied for both of y'all shows, but
Mhm.
I'm gonna break that tie maybe because I was watching both of them. Might be my mind's is a little more biased, but I give AEW a 9.2 tonight. It was just
Yeah.
a lot more serious than NXT felt like a nostalgic show. Barbaro hit it right on the nose earlier. It felt
Mhm.
like a nostalgic show where it was just, oh, we're just having some fun tonight. 10-man tag, nostalgic match with ECW people, whereas AEW was just business as usual, serious storytelling, building up to a pay-per-view. So AEW 9.2 for me, man. But this was interesting. I've never
Yeah.
done a duo show, AEW and NXT. So I appreciate both of y'all for real, man.
Yeah, I will say that I know they didn't have Mercedes on this week's Dynamite, but
No, they,
I
they
watched
they actually did.
they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
Oh
was
yeah, yeah,
a
yeah,
there
yeah,
was
yeah.
a there was a Statlander promo little quick promo segment, and then they made it look like Camille was trying to hit Statlander with the car, and
Mm.
Mercedes gave her the business like, oh, you can't do nothing right, get out there, take care of her. Like
This is the
I
second a week in a row she cussing out Camille. I don't know how I feel about that.
I mean, I kind of feel like yeah, they kind of maybe a little too quick on the breakup between those two, but
Right.
then again, it could lead to her bringing in someone another muscle coming in.
Mm.
Like Megan Bain's been rumored forever coming into
Okay.
to AEW. Like if you haven't seen Megan Bain perform, like on the indie scene, whatever. I saw her a few months ago in House of Glory here in New York. Like, dude, like you see her in the ring, you will not. She's a
Megan
damn
Baines. I gotta look her up, man. I
Okay, I'm gonna
seen
have to look her
clips.
up too.
dude. Like she
Legit.
legit. Like so,
Oh,
you could be building up to that where maybe she's not happy with Camille. She needs like just maybe a better bigger muscle coming in.
right.
Boom, Megan Bain could fit right into that role.
That'd be
Okay.
dope.
Well, I'm glad I mentioned it then because I didn't get to watch both shows. So
Yeah,
I usually watch Dynamite the next day. So
Mm.
I
the
completely forgot about that segment.
yeah, but I was gonna say I like what it looks like. Mercedes is getting into her comfort zone now. It's like
Yeah.
it took a minute. She's a little bit more comfortable in her role. She found out what character she's supposed to be as far as Mercedes Monet, and she doesn't seem like she's playing Sasha Banks anymore. It looks like she is a completely different character, and she has her lane that she's staying in, and I like what she's doing right now. She's looking a whole lot more comfortable.
100%. 100%.
Absolutely.
Well, next time you will see us all will be SmackDown post show. But I appreciate both of y'all being here. Until then, though, it's your boy ABE from DET.
It's your boy Ron T, the icon.
Spoil that ball, bro.
And we will see y'all Friday night SmackDown post show. Peace.